character control and emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is what we will be talking about today. And I'm really excited. I've been waiting for this for some time now, and the day is finally here. And I'm sure it's going to be an educative experience for all of us. And I'm looking forward for that. Thank you.
Great.
So,
Yeah, so that is our for the day. You can.
okay, now can you view the screen in presentation mode, please? So before we start, when I connected and then I disconnected, Bida was reading up people's expectations and or the reasons why people wanted to join the session. Talking about many of the things that you mentioned. But before we go on, I just I have a simple request or a simple task. I want everyone to take like 2 minutes to write down 1 or 2 questions about mental health or psychology. Anything you have in mind about mental health or psychology, write it down, structure it as a question, write it down, and then share it as a text. And yeah, one of the team will just later write them all down and share with me. Even if we couldn't answer them during the session, maybe we could do that some other time. But yeah, so I give you 2 minutes. Any question, anything about psychology and mental health, psychological well-being, emotional intelligence, anything, questions. Just write them down and start posting in the text, in the chat, whatever. And Bida, can you view the presentation in presentation mode?
Yeah, I have actually put in presentation mode, but I don't know what's up with Zoom.
It's
So
fine. It's fine.
let me try to figure out another way of doing this.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I think 2 minutes is done, Mush.
Not yet. 2 minutes is
Okay.
not yet. Yeah,
Okay.
2 minutes. Okay, so let me try to put this again.
Amazing. Yeah, I think we're good. Yes. So I think we're good to go, Mush.
Yes, we can go.
All right. So let's go to the introduction slide. Okay. Let me start by saying no, the previous one. Let me start by saying like I'm really glad, like I'm seeing people coming in, people giving in to opening up about mental health and psychological well-being. You know, like 2 to 3 years back, when you start a conversation about mental health or psychological well-being, someone would ask you, like, do we look crazy to you? Like, it was really that complicated. But now people are opening up, people are giving in, and which is really good. And comparing between mental health in general and emotional intelligence, when people talk about mental health, mostly they talk about anxiety, stress, and the disorders that come from them. Disorders like PTSD, which is a post-traumatic state disorder, and then there is ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, something like that. You know, this is what people talk about. But like, so they talk about mental health. They talk about the problems that people face mentally, and then they talk about how to solve them. But when we talk about emotional intelligence talks about, like, emotional intelligence is about setting your mind to a state that would prevent all these mental disturbances, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, let's go ahead and start with the I just want like 2 to 3 people to tell me what they think emotional intelligence is. So here's a question: what is emotional intelligence? What do you think is emotional intelligence? 2 3 people. Yes, Dennis.
Thank you. When we talk of emotional intelligence, this is the ability for someone to recognize, understand, and effectively use emotion in him or herself and others. So that is my basic understanding of what emotional intelligence is. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Who else?
Pardon?
Who else? Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Who else?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Emotional intelligence is the ability or the way you can manage your emotions, or how you can control your emotion and understand the surrounding of people around you. Thank you.
Amazing. Yes, Amri.
Yes,
Emotional.
emotional intelligence is the ability of one to control his or her emotion, and also the ability to control the emotion of others. Thank you.
Okay. Tamam. Uh, well, all these are good answers. They're actually correct answers. Me personally, like, not me personally, but in psychology, they say when it comes to what you think or how you feel, there is no wrong answer. So all the answers are correct. And let me just say the session will be more of interactions. I will ask, I will take questions. So at any point that if you feel like something is not clear, or if you have a question, if you have a follow-up, if you have a comment or a feedback, please don't hesitate to raise your hand, and you'll be allowed to say what you have to say. So yeah, what is emotional intelligence? Did I go? Well, first let's break the word into two. That's a combination of emotions and intelligence. So like so let's look at them one by one. What is emotions and what is emotion and what is intelligence? And then we bring them together and we relate them to each other. Uh-huh. Bida? Hello? Bida?
Do you want me to say something?
No, I next slide. Yes. So now, emotion is the state of a feeling. Like when you feel something, that's emotions. It's a state of a feeling, or a feeling in an instant, a feeling in an instant moment, or a reaction to an incident. So emotions is how you feel about things in a specific moment, you know, or your reaction to a specific incident, your reaction to a specific circumstance, you know. This is emotion. So it's all about feeling. And then intelligence, next. Intelligence is their ability to learn, understand, adapt, and or react to new things or situations. So like intelligence is I can, if I can put it in simple terms, intelligence is the ability to figure things out, you know, and it has nothing to do with time. Like all these people that recorded high IQ, high intelligence content, they did not figure the things that they figured out in hours or days or weeks or something like that. Some of them took months, some of them took years, but at the end they were able to figure things out. So it's all about how to figure out patterns of something specific, and then the better part of it is how to connect the patterns, how to do how to point the dots in the patterns that you would need to connect to the next pattern or to the one previous. So intelligence is all about figuring things out. And when we combine them together, emotional intelligence gets to be recognizing, understanding, expressing, managing, and influencing your emotions and the emotions of others. So it's about recognizing your own emotions. It's about figuring out your own emotions. Like when you feel about something, when you have a specific feeling about something, like you get to know what are you feeling, like how are you feeling about that thing, and then you would actually understand the feeling. Like you would relate the feeling to what happened, and then you will be able to express it out, of course, in a very positive manner. And then you will be able you'll be able to actually manage your emotions. You'll be able to know, like when to break down or when not to break down, when to burst, when not, like all this. And then you'll be able to influence your own emotions. Like when you feel something specific, something when you have a specific feeling about something specific, you'll actually be able to let me say influence how you would react or how you would feel next or something like that, if you know what I mean. And then in the same manner, you'll be able to influence the emotions of others. So when we break this into like two categories, it will be recognizing, understanding, and managing our own emotions, and then recognizing, understanding, and influencing the emotions of others. So this is all about the definition of emotional intelligence. Yes. Now, now let's talk about the impacts of emotional intelligence. We're still talking about emotional intelligence in general. So let's talk about the impact of impacts of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence help you understand your own emotions, as we mentioned, and then it helps you understand people's behavior. Like sometimes when someone does something, someone that you know very well, then they do something that you did not expect, like you didn't see that coming. And then being emotionally intelligent, you would actually understand, like, even if you did not really understand the reason, but you would actually understand that there is something behind that behavior. There is a drive behind that behavior, because they would not behave like that on a normal day. And then it helps you manage your responses and reactions to others. As I just mentioned, someone would do something or would say something that you did not expect. But then if you I'm not saying that you would be making excuses for them, but you would actually, because like, people are built based on sensitivity, and people's reactions are 99% based on sensitivity. Reactions is always driven by how people feel. So managing your response or reactions to others is like, when they do something or when they say something to you that you did not like, you would actually know how to respond to them, or you know when to respond or when not to respond, when to react or when not to react. And then it helps you being appropriate in social situations. This one, let me give a very common example, like you're somewhere in a public place, and then something embarrassing happens to someone, and in most cases people will start laughing, and that would actually double the amount of embarrassment for that person. But being emotionally intelligent would actually make you understand that anyone could go through this, and if it was you, you wouldn't really be happy about people laughing about you for something that you have no control over, and then it helps you developing relationships. in most of the trainings I did about emotional intelligence, this part specifically, the part of developing relationships, is where people ask a lot of questions. And yeah, it is very sensitive, and it carries a lot of weight. It has a huge magnitude. And oh yeah, so being emotionally intelligent also helps you in treating others well. They always say it's good to be good to people. It's good to be good to others. Treating people well is very nice, and it's amazing, because they say there is no softer pillow than clear conscience. By the end of the day, before you sleep, when you reflect on your day, and then you find out that you've been nice to people, you'd sleep very nice, you'd sleep very good, you would sleep very happy, because you made people happy. And then it helps you help others manage their own emotions. Like this one is the comparison between empathy and sympathy. When you have empathy, that means you can relate to how someone feels, or when someone goes through something horrible, or something that made them feel sad, or something like that, that you'd actually you would relate to how they feel without feeling the same way. So this is how, and then you would actually help them react, or you would assist them, or guide them on their reaction to however they feel. Like for me personally, when I find someone crying, I don't stop them from crying. Like, most people, when they find someone crying, they be like, no, don't cry, this bamuleta wajaraz ita bitala ayan. No. If I find someone crying, I will sit there, I'll make sure I'm close, and I'll make sure they feel my presence, and I let them cry until there is no more crying. And then we see what happens after. Then if I have something to say, that's when I'll start speaking. But if they're crying, that's how they feel, let it all out. That's what I do. And yes, so far so good. I hope I'm not speaking too fast. Any question, any comment?
It's okay. It's okay. We are okay. The speed is good.
Amazing. Now, let's talk about the key skills for building emotional intelligence. First, let me start by saying emotional intelligence is not something that you learn. It's not something that you develop. Emotional intelligence is something you grow into. You know, because it's the relationship between your thoughts and your feelings. It's actually a combination of your thoughts or your thinking and your feelings. So the key skills for building emotional intelligence, if you see in the let's call it a graph, in the graph in front of us, if you see in the horizontal axis, we have what I see, and then we have what I do. And in the vertical, we have it's in the vertical we have what I see and what I do, and in the horizontal we have personal competence, and then we have social competence. In personal competence, what I see is self-awareness, being aware of the self, knowing yourself. And it's really important, like it's really, really, really important to know yourself. How do you know yourself? Can someone tell me? Like, how do you get to know yourself? That's an open question for everyone. You can raise your hand and yes, Emmanuel.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. I hope you are here. That the question, how do you know yourself, is quite interesting, but it's very tough to answer. Actually, when if you go to someone, ask someone like, how do you know yourself? It's really, really very hard to answer. Even I myself, it beats my mind. I myself, it beats my mind. Like, how do you know yourself? You know, like you go through a lot of space to the extent of someone try to talk to you, you you fail to realize that there's someone advising you, and you feel like this is next to you. You understand?
Okay.
So
Thank you.
So you're reaching to that extent, meaning you have lost and you don't know who you are actually. But that the person itself is very, very hard. The person itself is very hard. Like, knowing yourself is very hard. It's in different aspects anyway. Maybe I'll talk about it later. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Maurice. Maurice, I saw your hand. So someone saying by understanding your reactions toward some situation, okay? I know myself based on my potential and capabilities of dealing with the situation. Okay. Yeah. Well, and like, okay. I know some people would have would have answers, but sometimes it's
Maybe
very.
let me say something.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so for me, it's about self-assessment. So you just think around, what do you enjoy doing, what you don't enjoy doing, what skills and abilities you have, and what you're personalizing. So when you do this sort of self-assessment exercise, then it helps you really understand who you are, in terms of in most cases it just lies in between what you enjoy doing and what you don't enjoy doing. Thank you.
Amazing. Yes. So yeah, that's beautifully constructed. From my side, the question was, how do you know yourself? What do you need to do to do all this, like to figure out what you can do, what you cannot do? Yes, Maurice, please. Maurice, I'm seeing your hand.
Probably he might be speaking and then his microphone is off. So
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Maurice, kindly turn on your mic in case you are speaking. And also there are some comments in the chat box. Agui Mayuat is saying, how do I know myself? It is knowing what you can do and what you cannot do. And then Minyo is saying, I know myself based on my potentials and capabilities of dealing with situations. And
yes.
then Samson Yobuta is saying, by understanding your reactions towards some situations. So those are some 3 comments in the chat box. Thank you.
Yeah. Very nice. Thank you. So, how do you get to know that? What do you need to figure that out? For me personally, the best way to know yourself is by spending time alone. By spending time alone. A lot of people have a problem with that. A lot of people have a problem of being alone. And not just being alone. You get to be alone and you try your best not to do anything. Like, you just focus on yourself. You focus on your thoughts. You focus on your feeling. Like, you focus on yourself. You focus on the patterns of your reactions. You focus on the patterns of your thoughts and all that. This is how you get to know yourself. Like, sometimes I also train in mindfulness, which circles around meditation. And in that training, before the training starts, there is this question that the trainer is supposed to ask, which is, can you spend a full hour by yourself in a quiet place without doing anything, without even thinking? And most of the time, someone would burst out and be like, how can I not think? If I'm not thinking, then I'm dead. Or if I'm not thinking, then I'm unconscious or something like that. But the main idea is not to not think, but it's to focus your thinking, to gather your thinking, and then somehow control your thoughts or control your thinking. So like which is meditation. So like, the best way to know yourself is spending time alone. There is this like someone from back in the days, someone of a high profile or of a high influence said, if you cannot be alone, then you don't really know yourself. And if you are able to figure yourself out, you would actually be your best company. If you are able to figure out yourself, you would love spending time by yourself. You would find that yourself is the most amazing person you can ever encounter. And yes, in the personal competence, in what I do, when you know yourself, then you will be able to manage yourself. You'll be able to manage your thoughts. You'll be able to manage your emotions. You'll be able to manage your reactions. You'll be able to manage your behavior. You'll be able to manage your influences over other people. And then in social competence, there is social awareness. What is social awareness? Social awareness is knowing the environment around you, the environment surrounding you. It's knowing the the context or the structure of the society. And when I say society, I don't mean society as a whole. I don't mean that society. I mean like the social setup around you. Because it always starts, they say charity begins in hope. It always starts from you and then around you, and then it grows bigger and bigger. It goes in a form of a spiral, if you know what I mean. So that is social awareness, knowing knowing the setup of the environment around you, and not just knowing, but understanding it. And if you're very well aware of the social structure around you or the environment surrounding you, you will be able to manage relationships very, very well. Next. So let's start by self-awareness. What is self-awareness, or how do we know ourselves? How does it work? How does self-awareness work? Next. Yes, self-awareness is the ability to accurately perceive your own emotions. Yeah, it's the ability to understand your emotions in details. Like you know every teeny tiny part of how you feel. Like you would understand the whole thing very well, and then it's you'll be able to stay aware of your emotions as they happen in an instant, or in an instant, in an incident, or circumstance. Like you would actually know how you feel about something and why do you feel that way. And then it keeps you on top of how you tend to respond to specific situations and people. You know, it helps you, like self-awareness helps you control your reactions to situations and people. And then self-management. Self-management is the ability to use awareness of your emotions to stay flexible, flexible, underline that word, and positively direct your behavior. Yes, of course. Self-management is like when you are aware of yourself, then you will be able to use your emotions to stay flexible. To stay flexible is like to be approachable and to be understanding, and then you will be able to control your behavior, and you'll be able to keep your reactions and behavior positively towards situations or other people. And then you'll be able to manage your emotional reactions to all situations and people. Like if you're going somewhere, then for no reason you find someone who's drunk, or someone who has a bit of a mental disorder, and then they call you a name, or they try to scare out, or they try to hit you or something like that, because this happens a lot. And then someone like me 4 to 5 years ago, I would actually fight, because I'm very short-tempered. I take shit from nobody. Like I don't do it, I don't accept it. So like, but now, like, okay, it's like they are the problem. It's not you. So you will be able to manage your emotional reactions to all situations and people. Now, something happened, as long as it did not really hurt you physically, and or if the damage can be, you can repair the damage yourself, then yeah, there is no need to increase the magnitude of the damage. And then in social awareness, is the ability to accurately pick up on emotions in other people. As I said, understanding the environment around you and understanding the small society surrounding you. And that includes emotions of others. Like you could have that friend who's always live and who's always, you know, that vibrant and that happy, but then you run into that friend and it's just that grim and that sad, or like, and then you would actually understand. You would know, like, this guy is sad, this guy is angry, or, you know, you would be able to understand, or you'd be able to pick up on their emotions. Like, you would know today they are not in their normal mood or their everyday mood. And then the understand you social awareness would help you understand what is really going on. Like, yeah, when things happen, if you're emotionally intelligent, you would actually be able to grasp on what's going on without it being explained to you. And then when you do that, you would actually know how to react or how to pitch it. And then it helps you understand what other people are thinking and feeling, even if you don't feel the same way. I mentioned earlier, like when I talked about empathy, like when someone is feeling something, you would being emotionally intelligent would help you understand how they feel, or would help you relate to how they feel without you feeling the same way. And then in relationship management, yes, relationship management is the ability to use awareness of your emotions and the emotions of others to manage interactions successfully. So like what is a relationship? Can someone tell me what's a relationship? Like, let's not Google, let's just give a perception. Let's give a definition out of our own perceptions. What is a relationship? What does relationship mean to you? Anyone? Yes, Rofina.
Yes, I wanted to talk about relationship.
Yes, please.
It is a strong bonds between two. It can be the loved one, can be friend, sister, brother, someone close to
Okay.
you.
A bond between two people or more, yeah? Someone else? There is another hand.
Yes, I've noticed in my hand. Yes, to me, relationship means how we interact with people around us, be it maybe in professional basis or on social basis, right? So it basically refers to our interactions with other people around us.
Yes, interactions on a social basis or professional basis. Amazing. That sums everything. That's like a perfect definition. And yes, Rafina, it's a strong, like, I like the word strong. It's a strong bond between two people. Like however, or no matter whatever type of a bond, which is it's either social or professional. Amazing. I see there are some comments. Did I, David?
Yeah. So in the comments, Jale Isaac is saying one of the hardest thing to do in our generation is spending time alone. Meditation helps in self-reflection and better decision making. And then Ustaz James Gatpan is saying relationship means how to stay in lovely life and trust.
Oh yeah. How to stay in lovely life and trust.
Yes, and then another one just came in from Juliana Adud. Juliana Adud is saying relationship is the way people or things are connected. Relationship is the way people or things are connected. And Emmanuel Alio Dennis is saying relationship is either a bad bond or good bond between two or more people.
Yes. Like yeah, that's a logical explanation or logical definition. You know, it's not only in relationships, but in everything. Like everything for me personally, or the way I perceive life for me is a matter of a balance between good and evil. So in everything there is a good and a bad. Everything in existence has two sides, the positive and the negative. And relationship is not an exception. So as simple as that, relationship is interaction or connection, whether socially or professionally. Yes. So relationship management is when you are aware of your surrounding, when you're aware of the environment surrounding you, you will be able to use your emotions and the emotions of others to manage interactions. Like, how do people get together? So like relationships, like when people relate to each other, it simply means like the energy vibrations collide, and when energy vibrations collide, that's how people get to be attracted to each other. It doesn't matter in which manner, but this is how it is. And then being together, like when people get together, what gets people together are the similarities. Like, yeah, you would see someone, or you would know that someone has these qualities that really works well with you, or some qualities that resembles you in some kind of a way, and then that attracts you to them or attracts them to you. It brings you together. But then staying together is like but then when you come together, you will start realizing the differences, and then staying together is finding common grounds for those differences to sustain your connection. Is finding common ground for those differences to keep you together, no matter what type of relationship it is. And then relationship management is to ensure clear communication and effective handling of conflict. Clear communication in relationship. Take an advice from an old man. In relationships, always make your intentions clear. Always make your intentions clear. If the person is if your energies are really colliding, and if that person feels the same way you feel about them, they would understand. They would understand, and they would actually be happy that you're open, you're honest with them. Keep your intentions clear. And then effective handling of conflict. Let me say this. How do you effectively handle conflicts? If it's possible, it's always better to handle conflicts in person. Like, being around someone is the best way to handle conflicts, because when you're close to each other, or when you're together, that's when the energy vibrations get to increase, and when they increase, they actually get to collide more. Like, you would be feeling you would be reading their body language, you would be reading their facial expressions. So it wouldn't be about the verbal communications alone. It will also include the nonverbal communication, which is much more effective than the verbal communication, because like in expressions, like, for someone to express him or herself, like the best, let me say, the best percentage of expressing yourself, like, it cannot reach 50%. If you want to express yourself, or if you want to say how you feel, what comes out will not reach 50% of how you actually feel. That's why always, after you say something, or in a specific situation, if you have something to say, where after you say that thing, after you leave that environment, or after you leave that situation, like, the actual things that you wanted to say would be flowing out, but that's after. So being together is the best way of handling conflicts, because the communication will also be the communication will be verbal and non-verbal. Okay. Any comment? Any comment or question about relationship management? Yes, I see a question in the comment section. Juliana is saying, in a situation where one is mentally disturbed, is it also advisable for this person to take time alone? For me personally, I always advise people to take time alone, because if you have a problem, then it's you to figure that problem out. When someone else interferes, that means they would relate the problem to themselves. They would put themselves in your situation. They would think of, if this was happening to me, what would I do? How would I think? And then unintentionally, that's how they will approach you, or that's how they will advise you, or something like that. But then there is this thing of I earlier mentioned that when it comes to how you feel or what you think, there is no wrong answer. So my answer to your question, Juliana, is, if you feel like being alone, then be alone. If you don't feel like being alone, someone would actually come to your mind. Whoever comes to your mind, then that's who you get to have in your company. And let me just say, do not ever utilize the company of a person because of their availability. Just because someone is available, it doesn't mean that's the right company for you. It's always like, you should always follow your instincts. You should, and you should always follow how you feel, because your instincts will never betray you. Your inner voice will never betray you. When your inner voice speaks to you, that means that you are not able to connect to yourself. So your instincts will bring what's outside, what's inside to you in a different way. So the advice is, if you feel like being alone, be alone. If you don't, find the best company that you can find, but not use the company because it's available. Now, let's see the effects of emotional intelligence. How does emotional intelligence affect us? Yes, number one. Okay, emotional intelligence affects our physical health. If you're emotionally intelligent, you would actually understand your body. You would understand your body very well. You would know if you need to exercise. I exercise sometimes. I run, I do yoga, but then in my timing, I supposed to do the yoga between 5 and 6 in the morning. But then sometimes I would wake up in the morning, I don't feel like doing it that time. I will not force myself. And then during the day, I will just be sitting there doing nothing. Then it comes to my mind, yoga time or running time. Like sometimes like nowadays I'm not running, I'm not jogging. But some time back, like when I was jogging, sometimes it clicks in my mind, like, that's what I did running. I finished my 1 hour and a half, and I came back home. So being emotionally intelligent would help you understand your physical structure, your physical being. If you need this, if you need that, and sometimes someone will, like, you will start feeling like you're anxious about something. You start feeling like you're worried. You start feeling like you're afraid of something. Some mixed feelings that you don't understand. But then you eat something. Let's say you find something that you really love, something, one of your favorite food, or one of your favorite snacks. You find you eat that thing, and then however you feel is just blown into thin air. And that simply means you miss eating that thing. As simple as that. So being emotionally intelligent would help you understand your physical health or your physical structure, your physical being. Two, yes, being emotionally intelligent helps you with your mental health. How is that? Being emotionally intelligent would help you understand your thoughts, and your thoughts based on actions or based on situations, like because or in places, like let's say if I wanted to write a poem comes to me, or an idea of a poem comes to me, and when I'm in Mosalat, what I would write down when I'm in Mosalat is not the same thing I would write down when I'm at home, or when I'm in a place where I go if I need to go for a retreat, or if I need to go to clear my mind, So like being emotionally intelligent would help you understand your thoughts or understand your mind generally, and then understand your mind in situations. And speaking of mental health, our mental health, like people always say, our mental health is as important as our physical health. But no, I don't agree to that. Our mental health is much important than our physical health, because our bodies is designed in a way to withstand anything. Our body can take any type of pressure. Our body can withstand anything, any situation. It's the mind that need to accept that situation. Like for example, if there is something heavy that's supposed to be moved and you are alone, that thing is really heavy. No matter how you try, you're not able to lift it, or you're not able to shift it. But then there is a situation whereby there is no one that would come by to help you, and you have to lift this thing, you have to shift this thing, you have to move this thing. Then you close your eyes for like 2 or 3 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds. You'll be like, okay, let's just do it. You would go and you would be able to lift that thing or shift that thing to where it's supposed to be shifted or supposed to be taken. So it's our mind that we always need to train. It's our mind that gets used to things. It's our mind that is programmed into things. No one programs their body to something. No one programs their physical being or physical structure into a situation, or programs their physical being to adapt to something. No, it's always the mind. So being our mental health is more important. Like in some other places, people go for mental check. People talk to their psychiatrist every now and then. They say you're supposed to visit your a mental health professional like every 6 months or every 3 months. That's what they say. But for me personally, if you can, whenever it's possible, because mostly people go and see these mental health specialists when they have a problem, and that's not healthy. That's not healthy at all. Like, we need to adapt. We need to adapt the habit of practicing mental hygiene. There is this thing that I'm doing. I'm working on. I call it the psychology of things. And the idea of the psychology of things, I studied computer science. So in my tech background, like when the internet was invented, when the Americans invented the internet, it was solely for military use. But then they saw potential of making money out of this thing. So how can they make it public? they came up with the idea of the Internet of Things. How to incorporate the internet in your daily life, not in those complicated things, but in the simple things that you do every single day. And then now we have the internet. We use the internet in literally everything. So it's the same idea. That's how I came up with the idea of this psychology of things. It's about looking at things or dealing with things or handling things from a psychological perception, like if you want to do something, if you want to do something, what's the psychological impact? What's the impact of that thing on your mind? So like generally what I'm saying, we need to normalize practicing mental hygiene, because our mental health is way more important than our physical health. And yes, number 3 is school performance. Yes, being emotionally intelligent will help you with your school performance, because when you're emotionally intelligent, your mind would actually be at rest, be at ease, because it reacts to things in a way that, in a non-stressful way. So you will always be focused, and being focused is all you need to do good in school or in academics. So yeah, in learning in general. 4. Bida. Yes, and being emotionally intelligent would help us in our work efficiency. When you're emotionally intelligent, work will be easy for you. You will always be like you would feel no pressure when in your professional setup or in your professional environment, because you would always react to things in a positive way. You'll always take things in a positive way. And by the way, emotional intelligence is a major factor in time management. Being emotionally intelligent would actually help you manage your time perfectly without scheduling, without creating a timeline or whatever they call it. So emotional intelligence helps you in your work efficiency. And 5, emotional intelligence helps you in relationships. We have talked about that, but I'll mention again. Emotional intelligence helps you it helps you understand your emotions and the emotions of others. So it helps you building positive connections and constructive connections and relationships with others. And then it helps you with your social intelligence, or it helps you with it helps you in dealing with your surrounding, with the environment surrounding you, with the society surrounding you, and with the larger society. And now to the best part. Next slide. Okay, I think now, Abida, I think now is time for a break. Because
Okay.
we finished the first part and now we are going to the second part. So I think we have like 5 minutes break or something.
Okay, great. So let's ladies and gentlemen, let's go for a 5 minutes break. We'll get back at 2:22. 2:22. It's 2:17 now, so we'll come back in 2:17. Kindly go grab a glass of water. If you have been sitting down throughout from the start of the session, you can stand up, go take a walk, a 2 minutes walk, and then get back, grab a glass of water. If you have something near you, grab it, chew it, and then we'll get back at 2:22. Thank you so much. Let's go for a break. Susie, also in the meantime, you can share the attendance in the chat box, so that those ones that will come early from their break are able to fill in their attendance. Otherwise, it's been a good session, and I want to thank you so much, Mr. Mawar. You can also take a pause, go drink water, and then when we get back, we should be able to proceed with the session from there. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah, so if you also have any questions, if you have been following the session closely from the start, you can also drop your questions in the chat box, so that later on they will get answered. I see one person is asking, how do you handle people who are naive in a relationship? And I see a message from Jale. I think it came earlier. He's saying relationship management refers to practices that organizations or individuals use to maintain and improve their interactions with friends, customers, partners, etc. Yeah. So go enjoy your break. And then when we get back, we will proceed from where we stopped. Otherwise, if you're joining us for the first time, our pleasure having you on board. These sessions happen every 2 weeks, and this is the 10th session we are having this year, and it starts today and tomorrow, and the major focus will be on emotional intelligence. And now we believe that you've had a better understanding of what emotional intelligence is. Earlier on from the start of the session, we were able to look at what emotional intelligence is in terms of the definition. So we first started by looking at what emotional intelligence is itself. We're able to define an emotion, and we say that emotion is a state of a feeling in an instant or reaction to an incident. And the trainer also said that intelligence is the ability to learn, understand, adapt, and or react to new things or situations. He moved on to define emotional intelligence, in which he said that emotional intelligence is recognizing, understanding, expressing, managing, and influencing your emotions and the emotions of others. He then looked at two aspects. The first aspect is your ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions. And the second aspect is your ability to recognize, understand, and influence the emotions of others. We then moved to look at the impacts of emotional intelligence, in which Mawa stated that emotional intelligence helps in understanding your own emotions, helps in understanding people's behavior, helps in managing your responses or reactions to others, helps in being appropriate in social situations, helps in developing relationships, helps in treating other people well, and also helps others manage their own emotions. And in the key skills for building emotional intelligence, we look at first the personal competence and then the social competence. In the social competence, you look at in these two categories, both personal and social competence, you look at what do you see? And then you look at also what do I do in terms of self-awareness, in terms of self-management, in terms of social awareness, and also in terms of relationship management. And these are the key skills you need for you to build emotional intelligence. And in social awareness, you look at the ability to accurately perceive your own emotions. In then you look at your ability to use your awareness of your emotions to stay flexible and positively direct your behavior, and also the ability to accurately pick up on emotions in other people, and ability to use your awareness of your emotions and emotions of others to manage interactions successfully. And in the effects of emotional intelligence, we were able to explore effects on physical health, mental health, school performance, work efficiency, relationships, as well as social intelligence. And that brought us to the end of the session, of the first introduction. We have about 30 minutes left for us to wrap up the session, and I see some questions coming in. One person is saying, how do we control interfering emotions? And then how do we handle people who are naive in relationship? And so there are some questions that were sent, but I've changed my device, so I'm not able to see some of those messages that were sent earlier. But it has been a good discussion. If you just join us, and we are in a break at the moment. The break is just ending. Susie, kindly share the attendance in the chat box so that the participants are able to fill in their record for today. And yeah, so 5 minutes went just very quickly. I hope we are back. I hope we have been, of course, we talked about physical health. So make sure you are able to stretch. Yeah, stretch your hands, stand up, jump a little bit. You smile. Smiling is good. And then you can smile at your computer or your phone as you attend the session, whichever device you're joining from. And then let's get started in 1 minute. Yes, Mawa, are you back already?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I hope you have been able to get a glass of water at least.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good then. Yeah, so the question here is someone is asking, how do we control interfering? How to control interfering emotion? And then 2 questions, how do we handle people who are naive in a relationship? So those are the 2 main questions I can see at the chat box. Maybe you can answer these 2 and then we proceed. Thank you.
Okay, let me start by how to handle people who are naive in relationships. You know, relationships or people by nature grow into things. You know, it's all about interest. It's all about interest and what how do I say it? Okay, let's leave it at interest. It's all about interest. So if someone is interested in something, they would actually grow into it because as I stated earlier, a relationship is based on sensitivity, and sensitivity is actually something that is hard to control, something that is hard to manipulate. So it's all about influencing yourself, or it's all about your own influence into them, because I personally believe that in romantic relationship, you can actually teach someone how to love you. If they are really interested, they would actually understand the patterns. They would actually understand your, they call it love language. They would actually understand your love language. And if their interest is really all that, then they would grow into the relationship. They would grow into understanding you. They would grow into the situation, because most of the actions or reactions in a relationship setup happens unintentionally, or how there is that fancy word they use for it, but yeah, they happens unintentionally. They just happen, people have no control over it. So it's all about interest. If someone is really interested, they would actually grow into you, but then it's you who to influence them to do that, because like when you react to them based on being naive, then you are actually joining the ring. Then you're actually joining the fight, and you're actually joining them in being naive. And that's the domain where things will be happening. Yeah, maybe this is what I could say about this. And then the second question was how to control interacting emotions.
How to control interfering emotions.
Interfering emotions. Yeah. Okay. First of all, we need to understand why do we have interfering emotions. Having interfering emotions means we are dealing with more than one thing at a time, or we are reacting to more than one thing at a time. And the tricky things about emotions is you cannot really control it. You cannot control it. You cannot manipulate it. So what do you do is, I will not say you need to prioritize, because it's impossible. But what you do is you try to focus your thoughts. You try to manage your thoughts. because your feelings will always follow your thoughts. What needs to be worked on is your mind. So you need to focus your thoughts, and then where the first focus of your thoughts go, that's where you will direct your emotions. But to control your emotions, or to control your interfering emotions, like as I mentioned, having interfering emotions, that means we are dealing with more than one thing at a time. And if we are dealing with more than one thing at a time, means and the things are affecting our emotions, means we don't have control over those things. So my advice, do not ever stress yourself over something that you cannot control. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how it affects you. If you cannot control it, try not to stress yourself. And if it's a problem, you need to acknowledge that it is a problem. And then there is this thing. If it doesn't have a solution, it's not a problem. Every problem has a solution. And the solution is what makes it a problem. Same as every question has an answer. If it doesn't have an answer, then it's not a question. So if it doesn't have a solution, then it's not a problem. And if it's not a problem, then you don't need to stress yourself over it. Yes. Yes, we are back. And emotional intelligence for professionals. Yeah, now this is the psychological well-being in the working place. Or this is how we relate ourselves as professionals to emotional intelligence. So how do we manage our emotional intelligence as professionals? We have 30 minutes left. I think I will go straight, because this part is not that much. I will go straight with the session, and then we leave the questions for the end. Is that okay, Bida?
Yes, that's good. Thank you. Let's proceed, please.
So how do we manage our emotional intelligence as professionals? Next. Yes. First of all, we need to understand what is emotional intelligence for professionals, or for us as professionals. So emotional intelligence here is the recognition of the emotional dimensions of our natural traits and the natural traits of our co-workers, and how to influence them. Understanding, recognizing of the emotional dimensions of our natural traits. Now, let's see what are the natural traits. Next. Like, we see the natural traits so we can understand the definition better. Yes, the natural traits. Our natural traits, number one is thinking. It always starts with thinking. Like, emotional intelligence for professionals is recognizing the way we think. You recognize the way you think, and you recognize the way your coworkers think. And it's not just think, but how do you recognize how someone thinks about how someone thinks? That's by understanding. That's by understanding their patterns, by understanding their reactions to things, by understanding the rise in their level of creativity, the rise in their level of achievement when motivated, or when inspired, when this, when that, So it's thinking, and then motivation. Emotional intelligence for professionals is recognizing the emotional dimensions of your motivation. What motivates you, and what motivates others when it comes to you, like from you, how you motivate others, how you get to be motivated. And then there is behavior, which is how people behave based on specific situations, or how people behave based on specific people. Because sometimes someone would be just normal and going about their day as normal as they are, but then someone walks in, their whole behavior changes, and sometimes it's unintentional, because I mentioned earlier, it's all about energy vibrations. You know, sometimes like when the energy is that hyped, when the energy is that hyped, you know, the vibration gets to be higher. Come on, and then yeah, and it's most likely for the behavior to change. And then another natural trait is feeling, how people feel naturally, or how people feel based on things. Recognizing and understanding that is the emotional intelligence for professionals. So it's all about understanding your thinking, or recognizing your thinking, your motivation, your behavior, and your feeling. And yes, implementing emotional intelligence in the workplace. First of all, let me ask this question. Who is responsible for building an emotionally intelligent work environment? Who's responsible for that? Or who takes the lead for that? One or two answers? Mm-hmm. I see no hand. Okay, it's fine. Let's go ahead. Who's responsible for providing an emotionally intelligent working environment? This is the responsibility of everyone in that environment. But who lays the foundation, or who provides the setup? People in management positions. Yes, team leaders. Yeah, Jala said team leaders and everyone. Yes, team leaders always go first. You're a leader because you're the president, and then everyone follows you. That's correct. Next slide and next slide. So how do we implement emotional intelligence in the workplace? First, it's by providing opportunities for employees to express their concerns and seek feedback. Always, as a team leader, or someone or someone who's in a managerial position, it doesn't matter if it's a team leader, if it's a supervisor, if it's this or that. Like you are leading, or you're managing a team or whatever. Like you should always give them the opportunity to express themselves. Let them talk. Let them because you know collective creativity is the best way to let me say to raise the bar in a working environment. So how do we do that? How do we provide these opportunities? First, it's by active listening. You should always listen actively. They say before you speak, you should listen. And when you listen, you should listen to understand, not to reply. So that's active listening. Active listening is when you listen to people, listen to understand what they are saying. Because sometimes they will not be able to express everything in their words. That's why I mentioned earlier that communication, conflict is handling conflicts is always better in face to face, because you'd be communicating verbally and non-verbally at the same time. And then effective and collaborative tasks. Yes, always give people when giving out tasks, let the tasks be in a very effective and in a very active manner. And collaborations is always best, like because collaboration would actually make people understand each other, would make people understand the pattern of their connection, would make people connect to each other more, would make people understand each other more, would make people achieve with each other more. And then connecting with employees. Yes, you should always stay connected with employees. Like I personally worked with a supervisor that knows everyone's birthday. Like the lady knows everyone's birthday at the office. Like, and she's always concerned. Like if someone has a sick child, sick family member, she would come and ask like, how's Filan, and how's the treatment going? Like, okay, how is this? How is someone's school? And like, you know, they care, like they connect to the employees, and that will give the employee a base of being comfortable to communicating with you. If they see something that is wrong, they would actually communicate. If they are not comfortable, they would tell you, this is how you connect to your employees. And then there is a fairness and no discrimination. You should always be fair, and you don't discriminate. Gender-based, status-based, or geographically background-based, And then the other thing is you implement emotional intelligence in the working place by frequent and regular reassurance and positive communication between managers and employees. The line of communication should always be open. As a manager, when someone comes to you, you don't shut them down. You don't shut them down. Unless you're doing something that is very important, tell them, come to me after 5 minutes, or come to me after 1 hour. After that 1 hour, don't wait for them, because they will not come after that 1 hour. They would actually give it more time, unless they are pressured somewhere. So be the one to initiate, to reinitiate the communication. You'll be like, okay, now I'm free, can you come to me? Something like that. So like, yeah, that's an open communication line. How do we do that? We do that by believing employees can do better. Yeah, we should always put our faith in the people that work under us, because in a working environment, or in a professional environment, someone's level of achievements is partially dependent on how their manager is, or how their manager treats them, how they are being treated from above. So, like, when you believe in them, when you believe that they can do good, and this is not only in a professional setup, home setup, personal setup, when you believe that someone can do good, and when they know that you believe in them that they can do well, they would actually do well. They wouldn't disappoint you. They would walk the extra mile to not prove you wrong. And then there is no judgment. Of course, this works everywhere. It doesn't have to be in a professional setup alone. So, like, you implement emotional intelligence by not judging. Do not ever judge. And the other thing is, do not have expectations. What needs to be done should be done the way it's supposed to be done. As simple as that. And then there is optimism and positive nature. Yeah, you should always be optimist, and you should have a positive nature. As I mentioned, the lady that knows everyone's birthday. That's really positive. Like, as a manager, she's telling people that I care about you. Like, I'm leading the team, but I care about you on a personal level. I care about your health. I care about your own happiness, something like that. And then a sense of humor. Yeah, every now and then you pass by, you crack a joke. Stay happy, and yeah. Okay, and now we go to benefits of emotional intelligence in the workplace. All right. Well, from here onwards, I put them in a form of bulleted points, and we go straight to the point. What are the benefits of emotional intelligence in the workplace? I divided that into two, for managers, and then the other one is for employees. Let's start with managers. For managers, the benefits of emotional intelligence, it influences behavior. As a manager, being emotionally intelligent influences your behavior, influences how you behave. Like, it influences how you behave within your professional setup or outside. Yes, and then it influences your motivation. As a manager, in a professional environment, the only motivation you have is your salary. So everything else, it's on you, because you lead the team. You are the one sitting on the top of the pyramid. So you should always be motivated. You should stay motivated. It doesn't matter what happens, because you being motivated motivates everyone. You are the one who's responsible of motivating everyone, and they only motivate you with money. But then nefsiyat sometimes needs a lot of things. It takes a lot to motivate you when you are the leader. But then, as a leader, that lot is your own responsibility. So being emotionally intelligent will help you with that, and then it influences your appearance. Definitely. In communication skills, they say your physical appearance is your first mode of communication. Being emotionally intelligent will help you with that very much. And then it influences your expressions. It influences how you express yourself, how you structure your words, how you express your feelings, how you what do you say? How you comment on how you comment to people, how you give feedbacks, expressions. And then it influences your decision making. Yes, one of the most critical traits of a manager is decision making. So being emotionally intelligent helps you in decision making. It helps you in making constructive decisions at all times. Yes, and then it helps you understand the non-verbal cues. I mentioned that twice earlier. Being emotionally intelligent would help you understand, like when someone is talking, like if there's anything that they're not able to say, you would actually start grasping on that, the non-verbal cues. And how do you get to know that? You know that through their body language, through their facial expressions, through their gestures, and through their breathing, through their tone, all that. And then for employees, the benefits of emotional intelligence for employees, or the benefits of emotional intelligence in the working place for employees, it influences empathy. The employees will have empathy, and they would always be in that state of understanding each other's feelings and each other's emotions, each other's thoughts, each other's reactions, each other's behavior. And then self-motivation, yes, same as the managers. But like for the manager, you are responsible to motivate yourself and others. But then for the employees, like they are to be motivated by the managers. And then there is that self-motivation. Emotional intelligence plays a huge role in that. And then quality assurance. Being emotionally intelligent plus the management believing in you that you can always do good. Yes, you will always do good. You will always you'll be in that mindset whereby, yes, I can do this. I can make this better. I can always improve. I can learn how to do this. I can learn how to do that. I can learn how to do this. I can teach other people how to do this. Something like that. That's quality assurance. And then effective relationships, of course. In a professional environment or in a professional setup, I always say it's good to know each other in a personal level. It's always good to know each other in a personal level to a certain amount, and that would actually help you professionally. That would help you achieve more together. That would help you do more together. That would help you, like it will help you in being able to do better, do more, and prepare a better environment. Like today, when you do things today together, you're preparing a better environment for doing better things tomorrow. So, and it helps with competence and adaptivity. Yes, you will always be in that mindset of, I can do this. Even if something new comes up, you'll be like, okay, I can do it. Then you go, like you take some time, you take a few minutes or an hour. You go, you try to research, you try to study that thing very quick. And then when you understand the concept, or when you understand the general layout or the general setup of the things, then you'll be like, yes, I can do it. Then you go and learn it step by step while doing it. That's competence. And then adaptivity. Being emotionally intelligent will help you in being adaptive to new things, to new situations, to new people. You'll always be able to approach new things in a positive way, and then it helps you give better responses to pressure and stress. And when you're emotionally intelligent, there is no pressure and there is no stress. Pressure will just be like a load of work. Yes, today we have more work, because there is a time when there is no work at all. or when there is the amount of work is very little, and then you have time in your hand, and then the time difference here would be what you need to balance the pressure or the workload in the other side, you know. So being emotionally intelligent will help you like draw that together, or draw the equilibrium point for these balances and all that. And yes. And now we go to the last part of our session, which is emotional intelligence and psychological well-being in the working place. And I also put this in a form of a bulleted points, and I split it into two: do's and don'ts. I earlier mentioned, for me, life is always a matter of balance between good and evil. It's a balance between the good and bad, you know, because good and bad actually go together. If there is no bad, you wouldn't actually know the good, and if there is no good, you wouldn't actually measure the bad and measure how it can affect you, you know. So the do's here are to be emotionally intelligent and very healthy mentally in your professional setup or in your workplace. The things you need to do, but not limited to this. The things you need to do: number one, be specific and be professional. As a professional, you should always be professional. هزار كتير في محل شغل is not healthy. You are there to do specific tasks. If you're given a specific task, that's what you're supposed to do. Get it done, and hallelujah. And be frank and be intent. You should always make your intentions clear and do things intentionally. Do things according to how they're supposed to do, or do things according to what's supposed to be done. And you should always be honest. You should always be honest. You should always be open. You should always be frank. Number three, limited friendships. Your workplace is not a place for making friends. I don't advise making friends in your workplace. Yes, of course, you spend like a third of your day with them, third of your working day with them, like 1/3 of your day. This is the time you spend with them. You eat together. You spend a lot of time together. But then, unless there are other things that connect you, or there are other things that get you together on a personal level, then you keep that work relationship at work. You keep it professional at all times. Do not make friends at work. Please listen to this. Do not make friends at work unless there are another dimensions to this. You know, like like for us men, we a lot of men love drinking, like drinking. So for those who drink, your workmates are not the best people to make to be your drinking mates. And there are other activities that we do. And a lot of times your workmates are not the right people for that. So in your professional setup, limit your friendships. And then work stays at work and home stays at home. مشاكل تاع شغل you don't take home with you. They give you 8 hours. They pay you for 8 hours. They compensate you for 8 hours. They insure you for 8 hours. So that's the amount of time you're supposed to spend thinking about work. 8 hours. Whatever happens at work stays at work. And whatever happens at home stays at home. You do not mix between your professional life and your personal life at all. And just now, we go to the don'ts. What you are not supposed to do. Yes, number one is you do not get attached or sensitive. Whatever happens at work should be professional. You don't make things personal. Don't ever make things personal. And you don't make things about you. You don't make things about you. At work, don't ever try to be the center of anything. You are there to do work and get paid. Do work and get paid. Yes, and don't get personal. Mihai, do not get personal. Do not make things about you. I will keep saying this. Don't ever make things about you. When it's professional, let it be professional. Number 3, don't take shortcuts. If you have a specific task, or if you're given a specific task that takes 10 days and takes 100 steps to be completed, please spend 10 days and do 100 steps to complete it. Do not ever take shortcuts. Like, don't be like, okay, let me do 80 steps in 5 days, and then I will take I will have extra 5 days free. No, do not do that. Always follow the steps of doing things. If that's the professional way of doing things, then you follow that. Don't take shortcuts. And number 4, don't mix schedules. As a professional, you are not supposed to mix schedules. Like, for example, you have a meeting, you have a general work meeting, let me say at 11. Don't make an appointment at 10. Someone coming, even if that someone is coming for 5 minutes, do not do that. Do not make schedule. Like, don't be like, okay, I can just or like, you have a meeting at 11, and then before that you have like 20 minutes free. You have like 20 minutes free. Then you'll be like, okay, I have something to grab. No, don't do that. Do not do that at all. Like, don't mix schedules. You are there to work, and at work you have things to do. Follow that schedule of your day. And it's always better if you schedule your day. It doesn't matter if you schedule it in the morning or you schedule it the previous day. Some people say it's better to schedule the previous day, and others say it's better to schedule or to reschedule, to schedule the previous day, then to reschedule in the morning. It's fine, but do not mix schedule. Do not mix your schedules. Don't bring things from outside and then try to incorporate it into your already made schedule. Because when you make a schedule, that means like you've already programmed your mind to do things in that manner or in that order. So don't try to get things in between. And the last one is, don't ever tolerate misunderstanding. That is something I'm very sensitive about. Don't ever tolerate misunderstanding. When someone says something or when something happens that you do not understand, please ask for clarification. Because if you don't ask, later when you go home, when you lay your head on your pillow, the only thing will be going on in your mind is that specific thing that you did not understand, is that specific thing that you did not ask, is that specific comment that you did not comment, is that specific feedback that you did not give. So please, in a professional setup, do not tolerate misunderstanding. Be frank and intent, and do not tolerate misunderstanding. What you don't understand, you ask. What you don't know, you ask. As simple as that. And up to here, this is the end of the session today. And yes, questions and comments.
Yes, hello.
Yes, please.
Hello. Yeah, this is
Yes.
Alex calling you.
Uh-huh.
I just internet went off. Could you elaborate about don't get personal?
Don't get personal.
Yes.
Okay.
The internet went off and I couldn't.
It's fine. Don't get personal. You, like in a professional setup, you don't make things about
Yes, hello.
Hello. I think it's unfortunate Mr. Mower's network is not good and our time is off, like we're done with our time. So I would love to say thank you all for attending. I hope you've learned from this session today. Yes, so we're going to share, we'll do the recordings, we're going to send them to your emails. And then when you get time, you go through them. So thank you. Have a very good evening. Do take care of yourself very well. We hope to meet
Thank you
next time.
too.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Good night.